Hello everyone, welcome to the 2025 GMC Sierra Denali EV, and we're going to go take this on a drive. If you haven't checked out the full tour and review, definitely go have a watch at that for an in-depth look at this massive new electric pickup truck from GM. And this is the max range battery pack. So we are at 40%, we have 162 miles of range, though at 100% you have just around 450-ish miles of range, depending on how you're driving. So definitely impressive numbers here in terms of range, but that is all thanks to an absolutely massive battery pack under the floor of this unique sort of unibody battery skateboard chassis over here. Of course, we have our shifter over here on our stock, right, located next to the steering wheel, pretty easy to use. There's no start stop button here. If you want to turn the vehicle off, there is a vehicle off button within this massive 16.6-inch infotainment system. And yeah, that's pretty much it. We have Super Cruise as well, regen paddle over here. This isn't necessarily a paddle, but like we saw in the lyric, it's almost like a actual another pedal, like a plunger. It's not just a click pedal. It has a lot of give to it, so it's just like a regular brake pedal, but just for pure regen up here. And we have one pedal driving modes as well, and over 750 horsepower. So let's go see how this thing is out on the roads. In our parking lot over here, we have plenty of cameras around us. We have a digital rear view mirror, which is quite nice, parking sensors all around, and lots of camera angles and views to play around with. You can pretty much see every angle of this truck from our screen over here, which is pretty helpful. Even in drive, these cameras do activate to help you. Even the forward facing camera and the side facing cameras, I think, are really great to see. The wheels, even the rear wheel steering, you can see back here, which is pretty cool. And another great thing with this vehicle is that we have some pretty impressive turning radiuses for such a long vehicle. This is over 230 inches long, but it has a pretty good turning radius thanks to this rear wheel steering system on here. Well, just true four-wheel steering at this point because it's so aggressive. So let's do a little bit of a test here in this parking lot. I just came out of a Ram 1500 RHO, and I can tell you this would have a trouble making a tight turn. This does not, though. So if I just turn the wheel right here, you can see how tight of a turning radius this thing really has. It's honestly quite impressive how tight of a turning radius. And this, of course, also enables us to do things like crab walk as well. So you can come to a stop, enable crab walk, and impress your friends with some interesting little features there. I'm not sure how useful that is in the real world. Otherwise, around town, this truck is quite nice to drive around. It's kind of hard to even call this a truck at the end of the day because it isn't sort of a real pickup truck in the sense, just because of its platform, but it is a pickup truck because it has that bed, and it doesn't feel like a normal pickup truck to drive either. It's a totally unique driving experience, even compared to something like an F-150 Lane, I would say. I think this offers a little bit more of a unique driving experience to it with this unique platform design. Quick little acceleration here for you guys. Yeah, it's not slow whatsoever, and I have to say the regen system on this car is really fantastic. I think it works well in any way you kind of use it. The brake pedal blending is really great. The regen paddle on the steering wheel is super fun to play with, and if you're around town, you can just turn on one pedal driving via this infotainment screen over here and just use that function as well, which also works well. You can kind of modulate it through different levels depending on how you like it. So lots of things to kind of toy around with this vehicle and get used to it. But I have to say the driving experience is quite seamless, and the incredible four-wheel steering on this thing just makes it driving around town an effortless experience. Honestly, there's just no issues maneuvering in and out of parking lots, maneuvering around corners and curves. It does all those things quite well just thanks to that four-wheel steering system on this vehicle. We do have an acceleration boost, we call it like a Thor thunder mode, I kind of like to call it. You do a punch. Whoa! Really quick, squirrely around corners. Yeah, this is not where this Sierra EV likes corners much. Thankfully, the four-wheel steering helps to turn it in a little bit, but you can truly feel the enormous amount of weight of this thing. But you know, for a pickup truck, it doesn't drive like a pickup truck in that sense. It has a pretty low center of gravity with the massive battery pack, and the adaptive air suspension likes to prioritize lower ride heights, especially on highway driving, for both better aerodynamics and better weight distribution as well. It helps you feel a little more stable, but you can't hide that weight. It is definitely present. I would have to say though, around town, the air suspension is quite quite good. It has to, of course, manage all of that weight, but I think it does a good job at just eliminating a lot of bumps. The only complaint I would say is over some rougher pavement or bumps, there has this crashing effect to the air suspension, and I just think that's just due to the amount of weight you have on this truck, in addition to the 24-inch wheels and 35-inch tires on this thing. So they've done a lot. I think it's impressive what they were able to do with the weight and how to make this thing really feel nice and soft and damped. But yeah, it's something you just can't erase at this point. Out here on the highway though, I think this is a fantastic highway cruiser. You know, it's not super efficient. This isn't an efficient EV in the sense. It's just a high range electric vehicle, I would like to call it. And it's pretty capable as well. We can tow, I think over around 10,000 pounds. You have that power when you do need it as well. And of course, with Super Cruise on board, all you have to do is press a button and it's literally driving itself for you. And this, of course, this is across the board of GM vehicles these days, and they all work pretty well in that regard. And of course, it has things like automatic lane change functionality, and when you are using the built-in Google navigation system, that does really help. Oh, it's changing lanes for itself right now because it wants to go a little bit quicker. Love that. Thank you, Super Cruise. When you do use your Google navigation system, it will kind of calculate your ranges to and from where you're going, which is really nice. It's pretty spot on with that, I think, as well. Otherwise, you know, this is a pretty interesting truck. You have great visibility around you. The only thing I would like to say is that they do need to improve, and this is a GM thing just in general, the viewing distance between this screen over here and through the steering wheel. It's just a little difficult to see the entire screen. I've noticed this in the Cadillacs as well. I'm not too sure why they're having so much of an issue kind of placing these screens properly, but that's just one thing I have noticed. But we do have to talk about the price. This is $103,000-ish as configured, and it's pretty much the only version you can get right now. There are cheaper variants coming, the AT4 and the Elevation trim, so stay tuned for those if you're still interested in this truck. A little bit of a smaller battery pack, just a little bit reduced range, but you're still getting some pretty impressive numbers. And I think it does stand out quite well against some other key competitors in this segment right now, like the Cybertruck, the F-150 Lightning, the Rivian R1T. It looks great. I think it looks really fantastic. This black color, I don't think is doing it enough justice. There's really great other colors you can choose from, and they're constantly expanding from like a new matte blue to even just the white color against the black contrast trim outside. It really does stand out. So I think this is going to be a popular truck, though. If you're someone who wants an EV and wants just an efficient vehicle, this just isn't it. You know, in terms of our efficiency, we're achieving around 2.1 or 2-ish miles per kilowatt hour. Let's pull up our live feed over there at 1.7 right now. But we haven't traveled so far, so I don't think that's the most accurate reading, but that's not really good. EVs, you know, you want to be achieving higher efficiency, maybe 3, 4, maybe rarely 5 miles per kilowatt hours. Ideally where you'd want to be in terms of an efficient electric vehicle, and that's what I think most manufacturers are focused on. But in terms of these pickup trucks, they're never going to be efficient when they're electric. As hard as we're going to try, I think it's really difficult to task, and fitting this gigantic battery pack on this truck kind of helps to ease a lot of consumers' minds, just being able to have that range and being able to use the towing capacity of this truck more confidently versus something like in an F-150 Lightning where you throw on a trailer and you have like 100 miles of range left. So this one you'll still have, I think, a few hundred miles of range left, not just 100 in that case. So there is definitely a use case for this truck if you are looking for a specific electric truck, but I think solutions coming soon, such as that upcoming Ram Charger with a unique kind of range extended electric design with around 700 almost miles of range, I think that's going to be a unique new offering that I hope General Motors can kind of hop onto, because I think that'd be really cool if they can kind of integrate that into a normal Silverado or a normal GMC Sierra chassis versus an all-new electric version. Nonetheless, guys, this is pretty smooth, comfortable truck on all scenarios, like I mentioned. Definitely stay tuned for the lineup expanding, and of course you have some own competition to choose from within the GM family, such as the Silverado EV, and even the Hummer variants as well. So thank you guys for watching this video. Hope you all enjoyed this review on the 2025 Sierra Denali EV, and as always, stay tuned for more coming soon on Allcarnews. Cheers.